How are you?
What's up?
It's finally good to be talking with you.
Good to be talking with you too.
Well, welcome to the Making Plays Convo. And really, we're just going to be talking about all the plays that you were making before the pandemic, what you're doing now, and what you plan on doing once things hopefully open up for real and get back to normal safely. But
Yes.
I always like to ask, how are you doing? How are your people doing?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. My family's doing okay too, but yeah, we're doing good. Actually, it's scary. My uncle's stepson just went to the hospital last
Oh,
night
my
for
goodness.
a crazy fever. So, not super fine, but he's okay now. And they were like looking into it, and at first they were saying it like was corona related, but I
Mm.
guess it's not. And he just had a really bad fever. So thank God.
Thank God. So we'll
Yeah.
keep him and your family in our prayers, and
Thank you.
hopefully he makes a speedy recovery.
Yes.
But you've been making plays for a minute, not only on TV but
Thank
on
you.
the music tip. You dropped that No Plans last week. You had Black
Hmm.
Roses back in February, and of course the fashion tip, LOL
Yep.
Cartel, doing your thing with that.
Thank you.
What else were you working on before the pandemic started?
Honestly, all that stuff you just listed, that's everything I was working on.
It's a
You know,
lot though.
it is a lot, but I'm sad that our filming got cut short. But
Mm,
since we're not filming now, I do have a lot more time to focus 100% on my music. And my music has always been my main focus and my passion since childhood. So as much as I'm sad that we're not filming right now and that's been put on hold, I'm also grateful for this opportunity that I have to
right.
focus now more on, my main passion. And I'm getting a lot done with this time. So I'm really making the most of it.
That's good. I think the people who are making the most of this time and really adjusting are the ones who are going to thrive once
Yes.
things do open up safely.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's the most important thing. So let's talk about the No Plans record that you put out.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. I see you got the challenge popping too.
Yes, we had to do a challenge. That's what the kids are doing these days. I'm trying to do what the kids do.
No doubt. Starting to pick up now. Who produced the record?
The record is produced by Rich Skills and S. Dot, and
Okay.
they produced a few of my other songs.
Mm.
But yeah, they sent me this beat, and I instantly knew what I wanted to write about just because of the feelings I was having at that time.
Hmm.
And I felt like the perfect timing, to put it out was now because obviously we all have no plans right now. So
So true.
very relatable for right now. So it was
Very
perfect timing.
relatable. What's been
Yeah.
the feedback so far?
It's all been good,
Yeah.
which is amazing because, I do have a lot of haters. A lot of people, sorry, this chair is like so squeaky. Sorry, my bad.
It's all
Uh,
good.
but I do have a lot of haters. So, I'm used to seeing negativity. I've
Right.
done my best at like learning how to ignore it and just, a lot of people who say negative things are usually not even really that informed. I feel
True.
they're usually those type of people who don't really do their research or get to know the artist or the person before they start talking about them. So I've started to learn how to ignore those things, and with this song I haven't had to do that because it's been all positive feedback. So it's been really good.
No, the song sounds really good, and
Thank you.
I'm interested to see what you come out for the with the rest of the year. Are you planning on putting out a project, or are you going to put out more
Yes.
singles?
Well, I had a lot of plans to do a lot of video stuff related with my project, and that is all been so put on hold because of what we're going through right now. So
Hmm.
I'm definitely working on my album right now. I'm finishing it. I already thought I had it done, but then I was like, you know what? Now that I have this time, let's go back and do a little bit more,
Right.
get a couple more fire records to add to it, and so I'm really like mastering it, I guess you could say, and making the perfect album. But I had plans to do a lot of video related content, like music videos with a lot of the songs, and
Right.
that's kind of on hold right now. So we're figuring it out kind of as we go, with everything. We just found out today that LA's, I guess, on lockdown till the end of July.
Yeah, y'all ain't playing out there. I'm in Atlanta, and we're open for business pretty much.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess I know why. It's so crowded here. And like, I think
Hmm.
in general, people here never take like being sick seriously. Like, that's just kind of the vibe of
Mm.
LA. Like, people in LA are the type to like still go out like when they're sick. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
feel like they're like, listen, you LA people need to chill out and stay home because they know how much LA people don't like to, we're not stay in type of people. LA people
Right.
love to be out and about, enjoying nature, the beach, hiking, all these things, and that's ways it could spread. So I think that that's why they have us on lockdown so much, because we're just a place where it's going to spread easily. Just like, the East Coast, New York, I felt
Yeah.
like there they had to put such a strict lockdown because in a city like that where you're rubbing shoulders with people literally everywhere you go, like you can't take
Facts.
risks.
No, that's facts, man. I felt like they opened up Atlanta too soon, but what am I
Yeah.
going to do? I'm not in the government. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people know you from TV, but you've actually been doing music for way longer. Your father
Yeah.
was a DJ, right?
Yeah, he's from New York City, and he was a DJ there. My
Hmm.
parents, it's a long story. My parents hooked up in New York, and then when my mom was pregnant, she moved to LA. So I was
Hmm.
born and raised here, but like I've been going, back and forth to visit my dad throughout my life.
Right.
Yeah.
What were some of the records that he played as a DJ, or some of the early influences that you had that really got you into music, and particularly hip hop?
He played lots of Biggie, lots of Biggie.
Yes.
It's so funny because as a kid, being from the West Coast, naturally we were more like Tupac fans.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember my dad used to always try to school me like, nope, Notorious B.I.G. Like that's the one. And when I was a little girl, like it's so funny. I would try to tell my dad like, play this, play that, and I have a vivid memory of my dad like. He literally looked over at me. I was with him at a party while he was DJing, and I was like, "Dad, play this." And he looked at me. He's like, I got this. like, and my dad was just like,
Yeah.
he's always kind of like schooled me on music, I guess you could say. So that's really where I got most of my hip hop influence. My mom's more like into rock. I
Got you.
actually don't know how they even connected. It's very random. Like they're so opposite. But yeah, so my dad's like he's a hip hop head, and he always really like instilled that in me.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, as a DJ, we kind of get offended when people tell us what to play. It's like being in the kitchen and the chef is cooking and you're like, "Oh, add that ingredient." The sous chef is like, "I got this." So
Exactly,
that's how
exactly.
DJs feel.
Yeah.
So what is your creative process like when it comes to music? How do you create a song? What mindset do you have to be in? Because like with a lot of your music, you put it all out there. You talk about what you're going through and your
Yeah.
emotions and everything like that.
Um, well, that's how I got into writing music. Like as a little girl, I mean, I was an only child, and my mom was a single mom, so I spent a lot of time home alone.
Hmm.
Literally, my life was Macaulay Culkin Home Alone. Um, Except I wasn't dealing with robbers. But that's how I got so creative, and I got into writing and
Mm.
writing poetry and stuff. And then as I got older and started going through more shit in my life, like as a teenager, there's boys you have crushes on or friends at school you're not getting along with or whatever. I started writing just like about everything in my life, um, and then I started rapping as a teenager, and now when I write music, it's really what I'm going through in my life is what I write about, but it's also the beat. Like if I hear a beat,
Mm.
I could be the happiest I've ever been, but if I hear a beat that inspires, it's a sad song type beat, it'll
Right.
start bringing out different emotions in me, and I'll be like, okay, I know what I want to write to this beat about. Like this, I can already like visualize the story to a certain type of beat. So that's really what it is. It's usually the music that inspires me to make the lyrics.
No doubt. Like I said, you've been doing music for a long period of time, for most of your life, and then TV came along. And I want to ask you this because you've really, done a good job as putting your music out there, letting people know that you're serious about this. But why do you think it's harder or more challenging for someone who is on TV to get into music as opposed to someone who's already doing music to get into TV?
That's a great question. I think whenever you go from there's like more of a mysteriousness when you're an artist first. Like people don't
Mm.
know all about your personality, they don't know about you, so they can't prejudge.
Right.
And like I'm on TV on comedy shows where I'm laughing, I'm happy, I'm smiling.
Right.
Like you don't see me mad, you don't see me sad. So it's like you're probably wondering why is this girl a rapper? Like what the fuck does she have to talk about? Like what has
Hmm.
she been through? But it's you're only seeing certain sides of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think when you're an artist, you don't see as much of the person. So whenever they go to act, it's you're able to believe all these roles they're playing because you don't fully know them yet. So it's like, oh, they
Mm.
might be this, they might be that. So you can believe them as an actor more. And then I think like the other way around, it's just harder. I don't know. It's been like that for like most people, I think.
Yeah.
Like even Ludacris, when I was on Fear Factor, he told me he used to be a radio host.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And people told him, they were like, "You're not gonna be a rapper," and he's like, "Look at me now, like I'm a rapper," you know. And he's like,
Yeah.
and even when he went from rapping to acting, people were like, "You're not gonna be an actor," and he's like, "Look at me now," you know.
Look
So
at me. Yeah.
exactly. So it's like I think it's just like people see you as one way and they get so used to it that that's what makes it harder to do anything else, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. Ludacris, even Jamie Foxx to a certain degree. Because remember when he was doing his comedy and had his own TV show, when he would sing, people be like, oh, that's just Jamie being silly, but he really had talent. So
Exactly.
it took him a while to break through. So I kind of see you in that lane, like your time is coming.
Thank you. I
it's gonna
appreciate
break.
that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So before you got on, we were talking about like distribution companies and as an independent artist, why it's important to really do your research on different distribution companies because they can really help get your music out there. I know you're with EQ
Hmm.
distribution, and I really
Yes.
wanted to talk about your experience as far as because you've been signed to a label, you're working independent. What have been the experiences, the advantages and disadvantages of both, frankly?
The number one advantage to not being with a major label and just being with a distribution label is I feel that distribution labels, they obviously it's creative freedom,
Right,
and they support you creatively, I think, a little bit more. I think that major labels have like always been a part of this system, and they like do things a certain way, and so they just try to make all the artists do things that way, and it's like some things don't work a certain way for certain artists, like everybody's
right.
different. And with the distribution label, I think they're more about the creative freedom of the artist, and like I feel like that's what they do is they look at, okay, what do we do differently for this artist, what do we do differently for that artist, what do we do differently for that artist. And distribution labels figure out different ways to do things, and they work in a more like in a more free way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I
absolutely.
like about it.
No, you're not the only one. I was saying before you got on that you're seeing a wave of a lot of artists who have been on labels for maybe 5 to 10 years going over to distribution companies. Most recently,
Hmm.
Tory Lanez, Jeezy, Tinashe, Kid Ink, and the list goes on. So just for those points that you said. So I want to ask you, how do you balance everything out? Because obviously your TV schedule
Yeah.
is very busy. You have your music and then you have your fashion line. How do you balance everything out, especially with music being your passion?
It gets a little hard, like, especially because when you're so busy, like, when you make music, you want to make music at a time you feel it, like,
Right.
it's like, there's days when I'm so in the mood, I'm like, oh, I want to write a song, and I can't even work on music because I'm busy filming, or I'm busy doing this, or I'm busy doing that. And it's like, you just have to find the right time for everything.
Hmm.
That's what makes it hard being an artist on TV is like I have this schedule, and for example, I'll schedule a studio session for next Wednesday because that's when I know I'm free to do it. And
Right.
then Wednesday comes around and I'm like, I do not feel creative at all. Like I have no
Mm.
creativity in me today. So it makes it hard with that. But now that I have a lot more time, I've been able to, really focus on my music, and it's been a little bit easier. So, we're in different times right now, so things are a little
Right.
bit different. But before it was a challenge. It was like just really trying to make sure I made enough time to like really feel creative and not like force it so much on my schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. So you've worked with countless artists, the likes of French Montana, Ty Dolla $ign, Snoop Dogg, Robin Thicke, the list goes on.
Yep.
Out of everybody you've worked with so far, who has given you the best piece of advice?
Ooh, uh, probably. I mean, I guess I would say Snoop. Like, Snoop always was
Uncle
just like,
Snoop.
yeah, like Snoop, like really has like this attitude where he's just like he does not care what anybody thinks, and that's like the
Yeah.
best advice he always gave me was like, you're gonna have haters, like you're you, like, you know, you're a little white girl who's rapping, like people are gonna hate on it from the jump. Like he's like, you
Yeah.
just gotta be you. And like he's like, people are gonna hate on you. Like, you know, people have even hated on Snoop in the past and been like, oh, Snoop's not lyrical or something. It's like, yo, like Snoop is a genius. Okay.
Yeah.
If you listen to his music, he's a genius. The things he says, his cadence, everything about the way he raps and all his songs, his hooks. I mean, he's literally a genius,
Hmm.
and people will find a way to hate on everybody. So that was the best advice that Snoop gave me, was like, just keep doing you and literally ignore everybody. And like the more I started to ignore haters, like I used to always like sit there and check a million people online. I would
Oh,
sit there and go
wow.
through my comments like, let me check this person, let me check that person. And then the more I stopped doing that and just started like responding to the positive comments, I was like,
Right.
oh, now the haters are disappearing.
Hmm.
So that was the best advice. Like he basically was just like, keep being you and ignore everybody.
Facts. And the thing I
Yeah,
noticed, the people that troll and the haters, they're usually like have like 15 followers and they're on private.
I know. I actually like started to feel bad. Like if you really think about it, I'm like, I feel bad for these people, and like that's when I stopped like kind of talking shit too, because I was like, I feel bad. I'm like talking shit to this person, and they don't even got nobody to back them up. So like,
Right.
you know,
Exactly. So I'm gonna wrap it up on my quarantine questions. What is the
okay.
best thing that you've watched so far since we've kind of been on lockdown?
I think we can all agree it was Tiger King.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I just love Joe Exotic. I felt like his energy was so funny, and it was great. I mean, it was like a viral sensation. So I think
Yeah.
we can all agree that that was the best thing that's come out so far during
Yes.
quarantine.
Now I will put the Last Dance documentary, the Jordan special, and I actually want to ask you about that because last week they did an episode and they had a tribute to Kobe Bryant, and you had
Yeah.
the privilege of doing a show with Kobe. What was that experience like? Because he was such an iconic figure, especially out in LA where you're at.
I mean, oh my God, I'm such an emotional person.
I'm sorry,
I wish you didn't ask me.
I didn't want, but when I saw, I had to ask you because
It's
like
okay.
we all like grieve for him, and then when I see that episode, I'm almost dropping the thug tear. I'm like Kobe, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to shed a tear, but yeah, no, it was amazing. Like I went to school with Jordan Farmer, who played on the Lakers.
Yes,
I
yeah.
was a cheerleader when Jordan was playing, and like I remember I told Kobe that like I went to school with Jordan since middle school, and in middle
Wow.
school Jordan would wear a Kobe jersey, and then like later he ended up being on the Lakers. So like that moment of telling Kobe that was like, oh my God, I don't want to get emotional, but like I was like, yo, like it's crazy to like, you know, grow up being such a fan of you and then to now be
Hmm.
sitting here on the couch next to you. And I also went to school with somebody who was in a similar situation, like Jordan Farmer, you know, he used to be a big fan of yours. And he was just the nicest, sweetest person. I mean, such an amazing, like you could just feel his energy was like
Mm.
such a positive person. And he presented his children's book when he was on our episode,
Yeah.
and I was like, ugh, I'm sorry, it makes me like, I'm trying to not cry. Like,
I'm
I'm such a little
sorry. I'm
crybaby
sorry.
when it comes, you know, to people passing away. And obviously,
Yeah.
Kobe was a legend, but let's just say it was amazing to have met him before he passed.
Man, that is awesome. All right, so
Yeah.
I'll go on a brighter note. Has there been any new foods that you've tried to cook?
I don't, okay. I don't really cook, period. So
Okay.
I've learned how to cook
There you
literally
go.
during quarantine.
What have you
Yeah.
learned how to cook?
Everything. I don't know. like,
What's
like
what's
I
been
just made, I
what's been
made
the
chicken.
bestest?
I made chicken for my mom yesterday on the grill, and my
Okay.
mom was literally like so surprised. And I'm like, why are you so surprised? Like, did you not think I could cook? And my mom's like, I thought you were gonna burn it, to be honest. So I made some good chicken. I've been making, you know, good breakfast. I got better at making my eggs.
There you go.
Um, you know, I'm not a cook in general, so I've actually like become a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a little bit of a chef during this time.
Okay, yeah. That's what we're all
Yeah.
doing because we don't trust who's cooking it in the takeout spot. So,
I mean, especially when you can't see now. You can't go in there. You can't see anything. You can't see like how clean they're keeping it. I'm like, I don't know
right.
if I trust eating out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was hard to trust it to begin with. Now it's like, are you really washing your hands now? Are you putting on gloves? Do you have the mask on? Are you breathing on my
Exactly.
food? It's too much to think about. Um, my last question, what is the first thing you're gonna do once all this is over and we can move around safely?
Plan a vacation.
Mm.
I don't know where. I guess it depends where we're allowed and safe to travel to. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But definitely, I just want to get away from here. I've never been cooped up in my house so much. Like I just want to. It's so funny. I told myself. I think so many people did. I was like, I'm traveling in 2020,
Yeah,
and
me too.
I posted a little meme the other night. It's so funny. I'll send it to you after this.
Okay.
It's like a picture of Australia, like those buildings in Australia, which I've never been to or seen, and it's like it was like me before Corona, and it was like my plans in 2020, and it's the picture of Australia, and then
Yeah.
it's like my travel plans now, and they made it look like it's a bunch of dishes in like the thing that goes next to the sink,
Oh
and
yeah.
they made the dishes look like the same shape as the building.
Oh my good. Yeah. I think
It
we
is
all
so
feel
funny.
like that. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna send it to you after this so you can like fully understand how funny it is. But basically, like that, that really hit me because I was planning to travel this year. So
Yes, definitely send that to me because I had
I
some
will.
trips lined up and they've all been canceled.
Yeah.
And I have a shitload of credit with Zelta, but whatever. But I appreciate your time so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe out there. Stay
You
in
too.
touch. And when things open up and you come out to Atlanta, hopefully you come out to Atlanta. We have a
Yep.
Pandora office out there. Come through so we could chop it up and we go over all the artist tools and all that good stuff. All right?
Definitely. I hope to meet you in person soon.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
All right. You too. Stay